not on the right track.
Right.
Well,
yeah. In that positivity, well, in people around you, you almost have to harvest it. And this goes back to how we're going to teach people to say yes and is we have to harvest it and pull it out of them and have those deep conversations. I think about 17 I had a conversation with Christopher about like what is important in life and what you need to do to get through it. He was having some trouble and stuff, but I think that half the time when I'm talking to people, I'm talking to myself, reassuring myself what I'm saying is what I believe. I'm not going to say something I don't believe. And I really find that I'm trying to say less so that way it's more.
Yeah. Sometimes less.
Well, the least amount possible. It's funny. So we go to a free market that they do here once a month, and there's some communist anarchists that bring their pamphlets there. And I consider myself an anarchist, but I'm a purist. And so they have these books like, from Engels and Marx and whatever, and I'll read the book, and each chapter I could summarize in a paragraph. And that's what I mean by like saying less. Like people just they go on and on and on, and it's just talking about themselves versus get to the point, get on with it, so we can go do the work of the words instead of just talking about it.
Yeah. I agree. And what's funny is it brings to mind, and I might have told you this a while back, my friend Vernon in Florida, I loved his mom to death. She was full of rock solid advice, and she passed away unfortunately. She was in her 90s. She passed away a couple years ago, and I would visit Bernie, and I was stationed at Holloman for a while, and I remember one time visiting his mom and him. He basically took care of him, and he said, Mark, you know what I hate the most about these dang salesmen that come to my door and bug me because I guess somebody had just showed up. He said, this guy sure did talk about everything but nothing. All I heard was yap, and he sure had a lot to say without saying anything.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, that's so cool. Yeah, I'm gonna take that story. And today I'm like, yeah, let's get to the point. I don't want to shut someone down if they have something to say, but sometimes you want to stick, throw in their head, just suck out the information you need.
Yeah.
But there's a time for listening and a time for, when that person, do they need you to listen to them, engage with them because they're going through something, or are they just talking to talk? If you're just talking to talk, it's hard to sometimes gauge when to interrupt someone. It's embarrassing if somebody says, "Hey, look, I gotta go." Damn, was I talking too much? Was I not on the right page with them? Why didn't you notice? Okay.
So with students, I can do that. And I don't feel bad about it because I'm teaching them. Now, I wouldn't do that to, my own peer or somebody. And I don't do it meanly. But I stop them because if I can stop them now, maybe we can help them. And because there's a time when, we're besides a fire and we're, having a drink or something, you embellish the story and get all into it, we're in a board meeting and I need to get my point across, then I'm giving you, like, just the basics. And so I want to ask this question because this brings up another point for me. When I go speak like Wounded Warrior events and or to airmen in basic training, I walk up there, I say my name, I'm a retired PJ, 20 years, and then just roll into like bombs of hope, like any seeds that I can plant in there on resiliency, on anything, because I only have 30-40 minutes, maybe I only have an hour, and so I am throwing out as many seeds as I can, hopeful that something I'm throwing out there will plant in you. And but I've been criticized for my speaking style because they're like, well, they don't know enough about you, they don't know what you went through to get there. And I'm like, because it doesn't matter how I got there. Like I give you a hint that something bad happened, and then I go straight into coping mechanisms and resilience and how to get through that. And I guess I'm asking, like, what would you think? Like, where's that happy medium? I guess where I say enough about myself. I don't want to say anything about myself. I just want to help people. So where do you draw the line? Like, how much do I have to say to get my point across, so that way I can just start dropping bombs?
Well, I would say, because I know you, it's different than going to hear someone speak for the first time. I would say, who is the speaker? What am I going to listen to? What kind of speaker is this guy? If you're the type of guy that comes in and gives what you give, some people like that, and some people, as speakers, they want to give and make a point about something, not a fight about, but about something. So if your point is to go in and give a speech about, I survived this tragedy, you talk about the one tragedy and how you survived and the coping mechanisms you use in your support group. You organize and structure it to where you have their attention 100% with this fantastic story and the conclusion. If your speaking style is, here's what I talk about, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this, a little bit about that, these seeds that you're trying to plant, there's two ways to take it. It's one of these seeds is going to get implanted differently. For if I have 10 kids and I have 10 seeds, maybe 5 of them are going to get 2 seeds, one's going to get 1 seed, maybe 2 won't get any seeds, but you're hoping that some of these seeds stick.
Yes.
Seeds stick. So it's a shotgun effect, right?
Yes.
Shotgun effect, saying, I hope something happens. So if you're on the circuit, they call it, right? The speaking circuit. And you, instead of doing the shotgun effect, said, this is part of the story. Instead of all these seeds, I only want to plant the one seed and plant it really deep and water the hell out of it. And it's going to be about this. That speaking style is going to be different. You're not going to talk about all the other seeds. You're just going to go and do that. Now, if they want to see you again to hear the same story, then they go to the same story. Or they listen to another speech you're going to give about another seed. So you're just doing it differently. And if that works for you, great. But what I encourage anybody to do is get feedback. Always get feedback from the teacher, of the students you're giving, or from the students themselves by having papers at the end of your speeches and presentations to say, can you please fill this out? What did you think about this speech? What did you take from it? And that way, you know exactly how you're affecting those students and what they took away. Otherwise, it either is or isn't working, but you'll never know unless you're engaged with those as a follow-up to that parent or teacher by engaging with them themselves. You have to have feedback. So my feedback means nothing. Your feedback coming from someone who's listening to you give those speeches, that's what makes a difference. Are you reaching and saying things that matter?
Right. Well, so I change the speech every time I speak, because every time I speak, I'm in a different place. Maybe
and that's fine. It comes down to, if I can interrupt you, it comes down to you're not necessarily always the message you're trying to give, but your speaking style. Are you grabbing them, with their attention? You know who I like? I love listening to this day, even though there's not very many films or footage of him talking, is Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
The early footage of Bruce Lee when he says, you have to be like water. You have to, he's like intense, telling you this thing, and he grabs you and you're like, wow, I gotta flow like water. If I'm a tube, I gotta be a tube. If I'm a, whatever, I have to shape of that, whatever. But it all depends on your reflection and how you do it. So not necessarily the message all the time that you want feedback. It's how is it being received, no matter what you're saying.
All right, so I was 18 when I first either heard or understood "Be Like Water, My Friend," and my mind was blown away. it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever heard, because it's like, just be like water, just relax, don't worry, just, you know, flow, crash, do whatever you need to do, but just be. And I've been, I love that. I mean, it gives me like chills. It just makes me so happy, because it just reminds me of like how enlightened he was, and how enlightened I felt after hearing that statement, and been working on it all my life.
Isn't that funny? I mean, I think our generation, I definitely grew up with Bruce Lee t-shirts and posters, and, you know, learning to use nunchucks, and a lot of my Asian friends, they were all, you know, were doing something, whether it's kung fu, karate, taekwondo. Brazilian jiu-jitsu was not in the mix at that time.
Yeah.
It was wrestling definitely was, you know, but, so yeah, we all shared and worked out together and stuff, and did, you know, thousands of push-ups, you know, work it out. It's like, how many can we do? And it's funny. It's like endless. Okay, you know, we would just do sets of, my friend Elmer and I, he was my neighbor behind me. We probably, in between 6th and 8th grade, we worked out every summer. He went to Alaska after a while to go work, but we would work out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of push-ups.
Hello?
Yeah, Mike, come here.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
hold on one second.
Oh, no worries.
All right. Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cut this short. Unfortunately.
No worries.
We got a little bit of somebody hit her in her car. So.
Okay. Yeah. No worries at all. I hope she's good. I stopped recording.
Yeah, good. He doesn't want to give her the information, so I'm gonna go there right now.
Yeah. Go take care of that.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. I
guys.
love you.
Bye.
Bye. So what's up, Dirty Cones? So Mark had to end, so I will end it at that. I got a nice little flower blooming. I'm kind of, what's up? So to the chickens, dogs, cats, all living together in peace, and plants. Anyway, I want to thank Mark. I think that was, I'm going to call this episode either enlightened or yes and. It's great. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Feel a little bit lighter. Not that things are bad, but you know, things are a little scary sometimes. You wonder where things are going. But knowing that there are people like Mark and people like you out there makes the world a better place, makes it good, makes me not worry, and life is good. So have a good one, and yeah.